Energy Secretary's affair, also the lead story for the People. Yes, 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 Minister. Gets the prize so far for the headline this morning. And The Independent on Sunday, leading with the investigation into a woman who claims she was kidnapped in Britain and then taken to Pakistan by her husband and his family. Well, as the papers are indicating this week, we'll find out where that axe is going to fall in what's going to be, well, one of the toughest budgets for the nation. Joining us now, talkSPORT's political correspondent, Sean Dilley. Sean, whatever political persuasion, of course, the parties acknowledged there has to be something done about the deficit. But in terms of the political complexion, there is this argument about the timing of it and the danger of this double-dip recession.
Well, yes, this was always the argument of the previous government and Alistair Darling, of course, because, of course, the two different philosophies were you could either invest and carry on investing, which also would have meant carried on borrowing, or whether you actually cut now to pay down the deficit and you have more money to invest in things like public spending down the line. So, of course, there were very two clear philosophies. If you like, the coalition, of course, we look primarily here to the Conservatives. They stood on a ticket of saying, look, we will cut now. So you get what you pay for, really.
Yeah, and what, therefore, of the strains within the coalition, if that is going to be carried out, particularly with what we've heard about public services? I mean, the Conservatives really are going for them, aren't they?
Well, they are, and there are an awful lot of really key, crucial splits between the Conservative Party and the Liberal Democrat Party, including on things such as the public service, obviously. We're talking about a public service pay freeze in 2011 for anybody earning over £18,000. This is not something the Liberal Democrats will be happy to see. There are other things, obviously, on Tuesday. We're likely to see a per-plane climate tax on every single flight, which means that effectively £300 on the cost of a family for four travelling abroad. So, of course, there are an awful lot of things where the two parties have different philosophies. They have to work together and they have to present a united front, which is not an easy thing to do, Mark.
And that's the reaction of the political parties. What about the unions, then, when they actually learn the depth and breadth of the cuts in manpower in local services? I mean, what is the industrial, well, at least in terms of local government, likely to be, the reaction likely to be?
Well, an awful lot of union people who I've been speaking with over the past week or so have already started grumbling. Of course, everybody accepts that there is £155 billion to pay down. Everybody is going to have to suffer, and they do understand that. However, David Cameron has come out and he said that, look, the public sector is going to have to, you know, essentially, some might argue, pay more of their fair share here. So, of course, that's the concern for the union people. They are going to kick off.
Are they in a fair mind, though, to really try and make this difficult for the government and take industrial action, strikes and another winter of discontent, maybe?
Well, those that are in a position to do so, obviously certain parts of the public sector are not able to do so. But yes, I'll tell you what, there is talk of public sector pension suffering in particular. And there will be trouble. There really will be magnificent trouble if you're talking about public sector workers losing out on the pensions that they were promised when they joined in their terms of service.
Because, obviously, that was a contractual undertaking.
It was indeed. Now, effectively, they've got that contract, they've ripped it up and they've said, look, we're all in this together. Unfortunately, for the public sector workers, it doesn't feel quite so, you know, amicable.
Some are in it more than others, as they say, yeah. Sean, thank you very much indeed for your analysis. We shall see what occurs on Tuesday, of course, live coverage as that happens on Sky.